friends, it's Whitney Simpson. We're going to talk a big event that's starting Monday, August 4th and running through August 8th, and it's Seint's Brush Blitz. I had to make sure I could say that slowly without messing that up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you some of my absolute favorite brushes. We're going to talk through them, what one would use them for, what to look for when selecting a brush, whether you choose a Seint brush or not. But I also just want to share, these are buy one, get one starting August 4th. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a foundation color that is obviously way darker than my skin tone, and I'm going to swatch these brushes on my arm so you can kind of see the difference between the brushes, because I get that question a ton. Does the brush really matter? Can't I just use whatever face brush I want? And what I'm going to share today as kind of these little tidbits to look for with your brushes can be applied to any makeup brush, any foundation brush. So not just specifically Seint, but because the Brush Blitz is starting, I wanted to give you this information. So we're going to go brush by brush and talk about what to look for in your makeup brushes. So I have six foundation brushes here that we're going to discuss, and they vary in length of the bristles. They vary in the density of the bristle or the brush head, meaning how many bristles are on that brush head. There's so many variations, so we're going to talk about each one. I'm going to start with the lightest coverage and work my way to a full coverage brush and what to look for. So first I'm going to start with this brush right here. This is called the Blend brush. It's going to be a very, very light coverage brush for several reasons. One, it's got really long bristles. And if you have a brush that has longer bristles and they bend more or they move more, it's going to be a lighter coverage brush. So if you're looking at a Seint brush, you're at Target looking at a brush, Ulta, if you're looking at a brush that has longer bristles, they move, that's more of a blending brush, and it's going to give you a little bit lighter coverage. So I'm going to stamp it in this color here a little bit, get some on the brush, move my bracelets out of the way, and I mean, do you see, like, you can barely see it. Like, this is going to give you a very, I'm going to run over it again, but light. This is going to give you a very, very, very natural makeup application. It's not going to provide you a ton of coverage. So let's say you're at Target, Ulta, Sephora, Seint's website, wherever you may be looking for a foundation brush. If you want full coverage, don't go with something that's got a lot of movement or long bristles, because again, you see this, it's barely going to give you any coverage. I love this brush. I love it for summertime to just put like some bronzer and some blush and some little color on my face, not when I'm doing a full makeup look, because again, this is super light. If I am doing a full makeup look, I will use a brush like this to provide some of that color correction, because you guys know that I got like the little skin integrity stuff going on my cheeks. So I will use a brush like this because of its super light coverage. I'll use that with a color corrector first and then go in with my main brushes. So this is the Blend brush. Again, longer bristles, a lot of movement. It's not very dense, so it's going to be very, very light, a more natural makeup application. Okay, then I have this brush here. This is the Shape brush. Okay, so same thing, long bristles. It's actually a little bit more dense than the first brush, but it's still a blending brush. Because it's got long bristles and because it's got a lot of movement, it's still not going to pick up a ton of product. So let me grab my color here. Let me stamp in it here. See, I've got some on there. I would have done a better job cleaning these brushes beforehand had I not been impromptu and said, let's just do it live. Okay. Can you see it? Barely. Again, a more natural makeup application. If you are someone that says like, I have a lot of skin integrity issues, then a blending brush like this where it's long and very, very, not very dense, it's not going to serve you well because it's not going to provide you a ton of coverage, as you can see right here. Now we're going to move into the brushes that provide a little bit more coverage. So these guys right here, I would say they're really, really light coverage. Now, depending on what makeup product you wear, if you wear a cream makeup, cream is buildable. So you can add more and get a better coverage. But again, if you're someone that's like, I've got some skin stuff to cover up, no, you need something that's got more bristles and less movement. Okay, So let's now start talking into some that are giving us a little bit more coverage. All right, so this guy right here, this is the Blush Bronzer Brush by Seint. This is my personal favorite because I feel like you can do anything with it. But again, longer bristles, but do you see how big that brush head is, meaning this part right here, when compared to say like this? Okay, so it's got a lot more bristles in it. So it's gonna pick up a little bit more product. So I'm gonna take this guy, use my color, stamp into it, got some on there, move my bracelets out of the way, and do you see how we're getting some more coverage, right? So I'll do a second one because on the other ones I did a second one. See how we're getting a little bit more? So there's 2 layers of that. Again, if you're someone that has a ton of skin integrity stuff, it's not going to be your best because it's giving you a light coverage. However, you can do a double tap into it and get more of a medium coverage, but I still say that this is for someone who, a natural makeup application, you don't want that full glam look. You're going to look for bristles that are, again, long, maybe a bigger brush head, but this is going to give you that light, maybe medium coverage. Now we're going to shift into a little bit more medium coverage. So I have 2 brushes here. I have the 3D brush by Seint and I have the detail brush by Seint. They have a little bit shorter bristle length, just a touch, not significant, but they have a lot more bristles in the brush head compared to the others. So there's not as much movement, right? Versus like one that's moving all over the place. There's just not as much movement, which means there's more bristles and it's more dense, AKA it's gonna pick up more product. So let's start with the 3D brush, all right? Let me grab my color here, stamp into it. You can see I've got product on my brush. Now we're starting to get some coverage, right? You see that? So again, because there's more bristles on this brush, they're a little bit shorter, it's gonna pick up more product. Again, it doesn't matter what product you use. You might not be a Seint wearer, and that's totally fine. Again, all of these tips are gonna apply for when you're looking for a foundation brush for you. All right, let's go back to this detail brush. Same thing, it's got a little bit shorter bristle than the first ones that we showed, and not as much movement, all right? So I'm gonna tap into this color here, got some on there, and swatch. Do you see how we're getting more coverage? So if you're someone that says like, yeah, I got a lot of skin stuff going on, then you're gonna be wanting this like medium coverage brush, right? You're gonna want something that's a little bit more dense with a little bit shorter bristles. That's what you're gonna look for. Now this one is super dirty, y'all. And again, I should have cleaned these off beforehand, but I just got like impulsive and it's fine. Okay. This is like the Mac Daddy of coverage. If you're looking for a full coverage brush, you need short bristles. Look how short these little guys are. And you need very dense. Like there's like hardly any movement here. This guy's gonna pick up a ton of product, and this is gonna be your full coverage brush. So this is the Buff brush by Seint, but again, if you're out shopping at Sephora, Target, Ulta, Amazon, I don't care where you're shopping for your makeup brushes. If you're like, I want a brush that gives me full coverage, that gives me like that glam look, that I walk into the room and people know that I'm wearing makeup, you need this. You need short bristles and a dense brush. All right, so let me pick this one up. All right, see that right there? Here we go. Let's find us an open spot. Do you see the difference in coverage? It all has to do with the bristles, the length of them, and the density of them. So again, if you're like, does the brush really matter? Yes, it does, because you could be getting a variety of coverage based on the brush. I remember I used to go to Target and I'd be like, that's a really cool looking brush. And I would buy it just based on what it looked like. No, we need to be looking at bristle length and density so that you can determine the coverage that you want. So remember, the shorter the bristles and the more dense the brush, meaning the more bristles that are there, you're gonna get that full coverage look that's like full glam. People see that you're wearing makeup, all of that jazz. But this guy right here, these are really long bristles with really a little bit of them. There's a tiny amount of bristles in those brushes compared to the other ones. And it's just gonna give you that like, she's got something on. It's not going to provide you much coverage. It's not going to like color correct skin tone and all. It's not, but it's going to give you a natural looking makeup application. So there you go. So we had blend. These are all the Seint brushes. Blend, shape, blush bronzer, 3D, detail, and buff. Those are all on sale starting the 4th, which is what, tomorrow, right? So buy one, get one. But what if you're like, I have a foundation brush? Then I'm going to share some of my other favorite brushes by Seint. Or again, look for these out in wherever you shop for your makeup brushes to see if it might be something that you want to add to your collection. Okay, so this one right here, this is the line brush. I love all of Seint's brushes because they're double-ended, which basically means I get 2 for 1, and that's less space in my makeup bag. Love that about Seint brushes. Okay, so this is the line brush. So it's got a nice spoolie end, which you can comb those brows. I'll be honest, I use my spoolie because I get a lot of mascara mishaps and I can like scratch away the excess mascara. But then it's also got this cute little angled tip. Great for filling in your eyebrows. Everyone says, oh, this is probably a good eyeliner brush. It's not my favorite. I used to use it as an eyeliner brush until they came out with another one. But this is a beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow, eyebrow brush. Again, if you're looking for an eyebrow brush, get something that's angled. Maybe look at something that's double-ended so that you can get like dual purpose. You can save some money. You can save some space in your makeup bag. Okay, this. I can't remember this one. I think it's the smudge brush. I think that's right. Okay, this is an eyeshadow brush. I don't use it as an eyeshadow brush. It's a really great eyeshadow brush. It's got dome ends. It's got like really dense ends. I don't think it does a great job blending. So I personally don't use it for eyeshadow. Do you know what I use it for? I use it when I do the dot method for my foundation. So I apply all my dots with my foundation with this brush right here. However, I know a lot of people love it for eyeshadow. It's just not my favorite. Now, my favorite eyeshadow brush is the eyeshadow brush. It has a lovely blending side because remember, just like the face brushes, it's got long bristles. It's got a lot of movement, so it's going to blend really well. Again, it's double-sided. I love it because on this end, oh wait, it's got a more dense side. Shorter bristles, not a lot of movement. So it's like the perfect pair of a nice blending brush and then a nice dense side that you can really pack on color. This, I think, is the holy grail of eyeshadow brushes. You can't convince me otherwise. You just can't. So again, this is the eyeshadow brush. I only have a couple more up here. There's a couple I didn't bring because I may or may not use them, and that's fine. Okay, so this is the holy grail of eyeliner brushes. Now this is the etch brush. I love it because you see how it's got this like nice flat edge. So when I do my eyeliner, I tight line. How are you guys doing? First of all, I didn't even ask. Hope you're doing well. I tight line, which basically means I don't come up here and put eyeliner on my lid. I come underneath here and put it in my waterline. So I love this brush for that purpose. It also has this nice, more dense side that allows a little bit of smudging underneath. Or if I was going to use some eyeliner on my lid, I would probably use an eyeshadow for just a softer look instead of like that harsh black liner line. And I would use something like this to kind of come in and really smudge it. So this is the etch brush, my absolute favorite eyeliner brush. And then I have this little guy. This is a newer one to me. I don't use it that often, but it's the lash brush. And look at this cute little end here. Don't look how dirty it is, you guys. I should have washed them all before. I just did a real quick clean of them, so that's why they're dirty. But look at this cute little brush here. I don't even know if you can see it, but it's like got like spiked edge here. I love this brush because I wear eyeliner on my bottom lashes. I might be in the minority. I don't know. Do you guys wear eyeliner? Nope. Mascara? Mascara on your bottom lashes? I do. So this is perfect to dip. I should have brought a mascara wand up here, but to dip on the wand, get a little mascara on the end, and then apply to your lashes. It's perfect because oftentimes I use the mascara wand and I end up getting mascara everywhere. So this is a really, really good tool, especially if you're someone like myself who doesn't have a ton of lashes in general. And I can sit here and individually paint, we'll say, my mascara on my lashes and really get a good application. Now, that was a quick run through. I hope that was something like of value, and I know that that was like a brief overview, and I don't have all the brushes up here. The multitasker brush is one that I don't have up here. It's a good brush. It's got a nice little small end that you can use for like lip liner. I don't wear a lot of lip products. The other end is a really good end for applying your lip product actually to your lips. Again, I'm not someone that wears a lot of lip product. I just don't use that brush a ton. There is the spot brush and the bright brush. Those are very fine little detail brushes. They have little teeny tiny ends. I was gonna see if I had one up here that was like even remotely close. I mean, it's like smaller than this. Like they have these little teeny tiny ends, which are perfect for like spot correcting, color correcting, really fine detailed work. I do use one of them occasionally if I'm doing like some nose contour because of the small end. So there are some incredible brushes that are gonna be BOGO starting on the 4th. Through Seint. But again, I hope this information is of value to you because you can use all that little that we talked about with brush length and density. You can use that when selecting any foundation brush. Now, I will say the caveat to that is when you're looking at a foundation brush, I'm talking about Seint specifically because I wear their products. These are cream makeup brushes and I wear cream makeup. So if you are looking at a foundation brush and you have already your foundation in hand, let's say you have your favorite product, just make sure the brush matches the product. There are brushes out there that are made just for liquid. There are brushes out there that are just made for creams or what have you, and you don't want to mix those up because then obviously the product's not going to be applied as well as it could be. But that gives you a little bit of a guideline to go by when you're looking at your foundation brushes. And again, Seint has an incredible sale starting the 4th. If you have questions, you can always comment on a video or you can send me a DM and I will be more than happy to answer a makeup question, a Seint question, application question. If I can answer it, I will most certainly do. And if I cannot answer it, I'll find you a resource that can. All right. So I hope you guys have an incredible day. Thanks for hanging with me. Again, I hope this was valuable. Save this video so that when you go brush shopping, you will know exactly what kind of brush to look for to get your makeup application spot on. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.